flu. That means they've got antibodies to it that I need to have a hope in hell of fighting this thing.
And the ones who are just sick, having a broader genetic diversity of virus samples will help us track the virus's rate of mutation, which is a long way to say, keep those people alive until I get what I need from them. Got that? Great. Agent, you need to hear this.
They tell me the cleaners are holding the entire test city prisoner. That's what it looks like in a fixed cleaner MO. If you wanted to eradicate every last vestige of the detectable virus, where would you go? Wherever the biggest concentrations are.
Refugee camps, shantytowns. Jesus, you don't think they...
Draconian solution, but highly effective.
Sure, if you're a genocidal maniac. You ever wonder if we even deserve to survive this thing?
Every day, Doctor. Every day. Good luck, Agent.
Levels increasing.
You hear that, Agent? You're walking into the teeth of it now. Don't forget what I said about keeping any infected refugees alive. I mean, obviously you're gonna try and keep them all alive, but I need those virus samples, and I really need viable antibody samples from survivors.
So keep them extra alive, I guess. You know what I'm saying. I'm going back to work now. Candle out.
Signature of explosives detected.
Confirmed. It's napalm B, all right. With that much capacity, they must be planning to burn out the whole damn yard. And when they do, they're gonna kill every last refugee in that shanty town. We need that tank moved somewhere safe. Okay, Agent. As soon as you lock the situation down, I've got a joint Sarah JTF. They'll take samples from as many refugees as they can find.
Medical personnel?
A couple of EMTs in the mix, Doctor? Yes.
A couple? As in only two?
The rest are first aid certified. They know how to tap a vein. Get going, Agent.
Without contaminating the samples, I assume.
Or infecting themselves. Yes.
I'll take your word for it.
Thank you, Doctor. Get moving, Agent. That should do it, Agent. Solid work.
Warning. Now entering a contaminated area.
Hey, what is up, everyone? The LDB is back at it again, coming at you today with my Striker PvE build for 1.8.3. Now, I can't believe that I haven't done this build for you guys yet. I've done a Commanding Determined build quite some time ago that I probably should update, and I've also done a couple of PvP builds for Striker, but somehow I just left out the PvE build. So I apologize for that, and it's kind of funny because I usually get at least one comment on other gear set PvE builds that ask, why not just run Striker? Well, I do, and this is how I've been rocking it. Now, this build is an absolute absolute beast, and in my opinion, still king for PvE. The damage up on top of the self-heal is just amazing, and honestly, I just can't wait to show you guys the character sheet. So as always, if you enjoy or find these videos helpful, definitely smash that like button, subscribe for future content. If you are new to the channel, make sure you have that notification bell on, and go ahead and drop a comment down there letting everybody know how you've been running Striker in PvE for 1.8.3. So let's get into it. Okay, so let's go over these skills and talents really quick. Nothing too crazy here. Pretty much what you would expect from a standard striker build. I'm going with a booster shot. Temporarily increases damage and damage resistance. So it's a 2-for-1. I'm loving it. And that temporary increase of damage is 15% on top of all of the damage ups that we already have on the build, as well as the stacks that we're getting. This just really pushes it right over the edge. Now, moving on to the immunizer, pretty straightforward on that. It's just going to keep you safe from any kind of shock, bleed, burn, etc., things like that, and you know, that'll help you out a lot. So moving on to the recovery link here, basically just using this because on a team sometimes you got to pick people up, and you know, if I'm getting low on health for some reason, I can always pop it for myself. Now if you want, you can get crazy and use a tack link, because with this going on top of all the other damage up, like I was saying before, it's just, it pushes it way over the edge, and that's so OP, it's actually sickening. Now you could always go with Survivor Link as well. On top of the healing stacks, you get the Survivor Link going, so really you're not taking a lot of damage for a little while, and the heal on top of it can help you get a lot of health back, just like the recovery link, just allowing your stacks to build it back for you. So really, that's all up to you and how you want to run that. I have seen some people running a flash sticky. You could always go with a pulse. You could always go with the shock turret, flame turret, whatever you want. This is how I've been going with it, and it hasn't let me down yet. So let's go on to the talents. Okay, so I'm going to be going with Critical Save. Use a medkit during low health to increase damage resistance 20%. So that's pretty straightforward. If you're really getting lit up and you pop that medkit, if you have any stacks that are healing you, it's definitely going to help push that heal a little bit further, and on top of it you get that damage resistance, so you can kind of duck back, or you know, build up some more stacks on top of it and keep on going. So pretty straightforward there. Moving on to Precision, using this because I am not using a pulse on this build. Headshot a hostile to pulse them for 10 seconds, and with all the stability and accuracy that we're going to be getting from this build, you can really land those headshots no problem. It's not a problem in the least, honestly. Moving on to Steady Hands. If you want to push it even farther over the edge, use Steady Hands. With all the stability that we're getting from the build itself, on top of this, enter any cover to reduce recoil by 25%, so you get 33% stability from the build, I believe, on top of 25% recoil reduction. I mean, that's just, that's amazing right there. That is so overpowered, it's amazing. Now, we have On the Move going on here. Kill a hostile while moving to reduce incoming damage by 15%. So since we are at the 6,000 stamina, not the 9,000, that definitely helps out a little bit. You could always go with One is None, because we are going to be landing a lot of headshots. That'll help you keep up your ammo capacity, things like that. But really, to each their own. Try out other things, you know, and let me know what's working for you down in the comments. So let's get on to the build itself. And here it is. So, as you can see, nothing crazy. We have a 6-piece classified striker set. We have the firearms at 5,500. We have the stamina just over 6,000. That way we will get the 6,000 heal back from the build, as well as the toughness at 494. I was going for 500,000, but I'll settle for 494. Now, the electronics is over 4,000, meaning that I do have one piece rolled for electronics, and that's for a couple reasons. One, any of your skills are going to be a little bit stronger and last a little bit longer. On top of the weapon that you use, I really recommend you use Ferocious, and Ferocious does make you spec a little bit into electronics. Now, I do have another build for you, an alternative, basically the same thing, built basically the same way, but as you can see, it is deadly responsive, and then I have Ferocious in the given talent. You must have Ferocious in the given talent for your weapon, or it will not be activated. And as you can see, the firearms goes up a little bit. We're at 308,000 DPS, and the firearms is at 6,700, so almost 7,000, and the stamina is at 6,200 still, but the toughness actually takes a hit. So again, all up to you, depend how you want to roll things and do things like that, but I've been running with the electronic build overall, and it has not let me down at all. So let's go over what we actually get from Striker first, and then move on to the rest of the good stuff. Okay, so I'm pretty sure everybody already knows what Striker does. Let's just skim over this really briefly. The 2-piece gives you plus 20% stability, and the 3-piece gives you plus 10% enemy armor damage. Those are both amazing for assault rifles. That stability will help you land those headshots, and the enemy armor damage added onto a weapon that already comes with enemy armor damage. Hey, that's a great thing right there. Now, moving on to the 4-piece, pretty straightforward here. Every consecutive hit deals 1% more damage, stacks up to 100%. Missing shots drop the bonus. So, the more consecutive hits you land, the more damage you're doing. Missing shots drop the bonus. Now, take note here that if you are EMP'd, it is not possible to gain the stacks or the damage bonus. So if you get that EMP, it's going to pause everything for you, which is why I am running around with an immunizer. So moving on to the 5-piece, you get another 10% stability and another 5% enemy armor damage. Just pushing that as far as you can, and I'm loving it. Now the 6-piece, every hit adds 2 stacks of self-healing bonus. Each stack is worth 0.01% of max health per second, stacks up to 100 hits. This bonus is increased by 0.05% per stack for every 3,000 stamina. Blah. Okay, so basically what that's just saying is the more stamina you have, we're going by 3,000 increments, 369. The more stamina that you have, the more of a heal that you're going to get back, and every hit that you land adds 2 stacks. So again, pretty straightforward right there. Missing shots drop the bonus. It is not possible to gain stack self-healing if you are EMP'd. While in the Dark Zone Last Stand Skirmish, each hit only adds 1 stack instead of 2, and the healing rate is reduced. So, back in the day, a little while ago, it seems like back in the day, they had nerfed that and changed that for PvP, but for PvE, it is still the same. 1 shot, 2 stacks. Dark Zone, 1 shot, 1 stack. And the healing is reduced as well. So just get that out of the way there. So let's move on to the weapons now that we got that out of the way and see what we got going there. Okay, so my primary weapon that I'm going to be using is an LVOA. I have it maxed out. It's 24% enemy armor damage, 19k per bullet. I didn't do anything with the RPM because I feel like in PvE there are other things that you could spec for, like crit chance or damage. And you know, you're still hitting pretty fast at 850 RPMs, and we got a decent mag size on there. The talents, though, make the weapon. Ferocious, Deadly, and Destructive. This, again, I've said it in other videos, this is pretty much God roll for me. I absolutely love it. Now, on the other build that I showed you, the alternative to the electronics build, Ferocious would have to be in the given slot here, and I just don't have another weapon that has Deadly Destructive up top with Ferocious in the given talent, so I, again, tend to stick to this build a little bit more, and again, it's been working out awesome. Now, moving on to the mods for the weapon, I have a huge mag, 120.5 magazine size. We have crit chance, crit damage on there. The optics, we have crit chance, crit damage, and headshot damage. The muzzle has crit damage, crit chance, and headshot damage. And the underbarrel has crit damage, stability, and accuracy. So we're just pushing that a little bit farther with that stability. If you could push it any farther, I'd say that's a good thing, but I think we're sitting pretty where we're at. Now, my secondary weapon is a showstopper because, again, just like before it was in PvP, it is still the same in PvE. So 2 shots equal, or 1 shot equals 2 stacks, right? And with a shotgun that shoots multiple pellets at once, you're going to get those stacks up extremely fast. This weapon is maxed out as well. We have 352.5 stagger, so that's going to knock them back a little bit. The per shot, I guess, damage is 71.6k. It's got a decent RPM and a decent mag there. We have Predatory on it, Deadly, and obviously Showstopper. The Predatory is basically what I'm going for. This is just an extra healer if I need to proc that Predatory on top of my healing stacks and just go overboard with it. Hey, it's awesome, and it helps get your stacks up. So let's go on to the gear pieces themselves individually and take a look at those. Okay, so the chest piece that I have here is rolled for stamina. We have enemy armor damage, health, and ammo capacity rolled on there. Now that enemy armor damage is absolutely crucial throughout the entire build. Push that as far as you can, anywhere that you can, because it does come standard on the gear set as well as standard on the assault rifle that you're using. So any way you can push it is a beautiful thing. And the mods that I have on here are 2 stamina with damage to elite mods. The mask that I have here is rolled for firearms with enemy armor damage and damage to elites. That's another stat that you want to exploit as much as possible. Push that damage to elites as far as you can, and it will not let you down. I like that more than crit chance or damage, honestly, because it is a flat percent rate of damage up to anybody with a yellow bar compared to a chance that the hit might hurt them more. You know what I'm saying? And enemy armor damage works the same way. It's a flat rate just working against their armor bar. So those two combined work out great together. Now moving on to the mod, we have a firearms with damage to elites on there. The knee pads is rolled for firearms with enemy armor damage, damage to elites of course, burn and shock resistance. So I think we're doing pretty good on those. We have a stamina with damage to elites mod and a 6% first aid self-heal mod on there. Now I went with the 6% first aid self-heals just because when you pop that booster shot, typically when you only have 2,000 electronics on normal DPS build, it doesn't do a whole lot. But since I do have some electronics up there, the 6% first aid self-heals really pushes that extra little bit, and you will get a nice chunk of health back when you pop your first aid. So definitely try those out. Now moving on to the holster here, we have 1401s across the board. We have it rolled for crit chance, and we have a 6% first aid self-heal mod on there. The gloves we have rolled for stamina with assault rifle damage, crit hit damage, and crit hit chance. Now as you can see, I re-rolled crit hit chance on there because I was going with enemy armor damage for a while, but then I kind of realized, my crits just were not really happening very often, and I decided to put the chance back on there, and it's been working out a lot better. Typically on a PvE build like this, I would try to say go for about 20 to 25% crit hit chance. If you can get to that point, you're doing pretty good, because 20% you got to think that's 1 in 5 bullets will be a crit hit. So I'm satisfied with that, and the rest of the time the damage to elites and enemy armor damage is going to work, so I'm loving it set up how it is right here. Now moving on to the backpack. This is rolled for electronics, and we also have health and bleed resistance on there. I went with the bleed resistance because I was lacking that, and I just wanted to have it a little bit more well-rounded, but if you want, you could always go with ammo. That health, I just wanted to push that toughness up a little bit farther, and the mods that we have on here are stamina with health mod, again just trying to push that toughness up there, and 2 more 6% first aid self-heal mods. So that's about the build in itself right there. If you want, we can go over to the character sheet now and take a look at all the specifics. Alright, so here we go. The weapon damage here, 18,992 per bullet. It actually says 19k on the weapon, but I guess, hey, that's close enough, right? Now, the crit chance is at 23%. Like I said before, if you can get 20 to 25% crit chance on a PvE build, you're doing pretty good, because 20% crit chance basically breaks down to 1 in 5 shots will be a crit hit. 25% would be 1 in 4 shots would be a crit hit. So that's not too bad, I would say, when you have 60 something in the mag, right? Now moving on to the crit damage, it's over 100%. Like I said in other videos, try to get that over that 100% mark, because that means when that crit hit lands, it will be doing double damage, 100% more damage than you already have. And when you accompany that with the headshot damage of 87%, boy, you smack them in the face with a crit hit, and they do not like that at all. I'll tell you that right now. Moving on to the stability here, 33% on this build here. That is amazing. It's going to help you land those headshots and do all that damage. Really going to help you out a lot, I promise. Now, moving on to the range here, we got 28 meters, so we're doing pretty good there. We got that 12% assault rifle damage up. We have the damage to elites at 53%. So again, like I was saying before, we take that 18,009 per bullet that we saw up there, and you just add 53% on it if they have a yellow bar. I think that's better than crit chance and damage and all that good stuff that you can put on the build. And when you accompany that with 72% enemy armor damage, that is absolutely amazing. Those two numbers right there, they do not like at all. The damage to elites is just, you know, pounding them right into the ground there, and the enemy armor is just melting it right off of them. Their armor bar just kind of goes away. Like, it's not even really a factor anymore at this point. So it's really working out awesome. And then when those crit hits do land, it's even better. And on top with the damage to elites, and it just stacks up really nice, literally with the stacks from Striker. It builds up, and it's absolutely vicious. So moving on, we got the skill power, you know, 124,000, nothing crazy. The toughness, 494,000. The max health, 330,000. So we're over 300,000 by a little bit there. I feel pretty comfortable there, and it's been working out nice. Now, the armor, we're almost there. We're right there at the end there. I think I have to optimize the gloves like twice, and maybe once even, and we'll be pretty much maxed out right there. Health regen, so on and so forth. The bleed resistance, we have 17%. We have some burn resistance, which I always worry about, and the shock resistance. So the top three that I always, you know, focus on, we got those covered, and when we put that immunizer down, we're doing even better. So that's about it, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video or found it helpful. If you did, definitely smash that like button. Subscribe for future content if you are new to the channel. Make sure you have that notification bell on. And go ahead and drop a comment down there letting everybody know how you've been running Striker in PvE for 1.8.3. So until next time, guys, I hope you take it easy. I will see you then. Later.